O procurador-chefe do Tribunal Penal Internacional, Kerim Khan, solicitou mandados de prisão para o primeiro-ministro israelense, Benjamin Netanyahu, e para os líderes do Hamas, acusando-os de crimes de guerra. O ministro da Defesa israelense, Yoav Gallant, também é alvo de mandados de prisão. O Tribunal Penal Internacional é uma instituição judicial internacional permanente, com sede em Haia, Países Baixos, estabelecida pelo Estatuto de Roma de 1998. O tribunal tem a missão de julgar indivíduos acusados de cometer os crimes mais graves de relevância internacional, como genocídio, crimes contra a humanidade, crimes de guerra e crimes de agressão. Ele complementa os sistemas judiciais nacionais, intervindo apenas quando os tribunais nacionais não estão dispostos ou são incapazes de processar os criminosos. O procurador Khan afirmou que existem fundamentos razoáveis para acreditar que ambos são responsáveis por crimes de guerra e crimes contra a humanidade. Khan acusou os líderes do Hamas de diversos crimes.
Today, I am filing applications for warrants of arrest in the situation in the State of Palestine. These applications are the outcome of independent investigations conducted by my office on the basis of evidence collected and examined and analysed by my office. I have reasonable grounds to believe that 3 senior leaders of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed Daif, and Ismail Haniyeh, bear criminal responsibility for the following international crimes committed on the territory of Israel and the State of Palestine from at least the 7th of October 2023. Extermination as a crime against humanity. Murder as a crime against humanity and as a war crime. The taking of hostages as a war crime. Rape and other acts of sexual violence during captivity as crimes against humanity and as war crimes. Torture during captivity as a crime against humanity and as a war crime. Other inhumane acts during captivity as a crime against humanity. Cruel treatment during captivity as a war crime. And outrages upon personal dignity during captivity as a war crime. These crimes were committed in the context of the ongoing armed conflict detailed in the applications and as part of a widespread and systematic attack against the civilian population of Israel by Hamas and other armed groups.
Ele também disse que Netanyahu e seu ministro da Defesa são suspeitos de crimes como fome forçada de civis como método de guerra, assassinato e ataques deliberados contra civis.
I can also confirm today that I have reasonable grounds to believe, on the basis of evidence collected and examined by my office, that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Minister of Defense Yoav Gallant bear criminal responsibility for the following international crimes committed on the territory of the State of Palestine from at least the 8th of October 2023. The crimes include starvation of civilians as a method of warfare, willfully causing great suffering, serious injury to body or health or cruel treatment, willful killing or murder, and intentionally directing attacks against a civilian population, as well as crimes against humanity of extermination and or murder, persecution, and allegations of crimes of committing other inhumane acts. It's alleged that these crimes were committed in the context of the ongoing armed conflict and as part of a widespread and systematic attack against the civilian population of Gaza, pursuant to a state policy. Unfortunately, these crimes continue.
O ministro do Gabinete de Guerra de Israel, Benny Gantz, um rival político de Netanyahu, criticou a decisão do procurador, afirmando que comparar líderes de um país democrático a líderes de uma organização terrorista sedenta de sangue é uma distorção profunda da justiça e uma falência moral flagrante. Após o pedido do procurador para a emissão de um mandado de prisão contra ele, o primeiro-ministro de Israel se manifestou.
The outrageous decision by the ICC prosecutor, Karim Khan, to seek arrest warrants against the democratically elected leaders of Israel is a moral outrage of historic proportions. It will cast an everlasting mark of shame on the international court. Israel is waging a just war against Hamas, a genocidal terrorist organization that perpetrated the worst attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. Hamas massacred 1,200 Jews, raped Jewish women, burned Jewish babies, took hundreds hostage. Now, in the face of these horrors, Mr. Khan creates a twisted and false moral equivalence between the leaders of Israel and the henchmen of Hamas. This is like creating a moral equivalence after September 11th between President Bush and Osama bin Laden, or during World War II between FDR and Hitler. What a travesty of justice, what a disgrace. The prosecutor's absurd charges against me and Israel's defense minister are merely an attempt to deny Israel the basic right of self-defense. And I assure you of one thing, this attempt will utterly fail. 80 years ago, the Jewish people were totally defenseless against our enemies. Those days are over. Now the Jewish people have a state, and we have an army to defend our state. Notwithstanding the blood libels Mr. Khan has leveled, Israel will continue to wage this war in full compliance with international law. We will continue to take unprecedented measures to get innocent civilians out of harm's way and to ensure that humanitarian assistance reaches those in need in Gaza. Mr. Khan also sets a dangerous precedent that undermines every democracy's right to defend itself against terror organizations and aggressors. The ICC has no jurisdiction over Israel, and Mr. Khan's actions will not stop us from waging our just war against Hamas. But Mr. Khan's abuse of this authority will turn the ICC into nothing more than a farce. He's doing something else. He is callously pouring gasoline on the fires of anti-Semitism that are raging across the world. Through this incendiary decision, Mr. Khan takes his place among the great anti-Semites in modern times. He now stands alongside those infamous German judges who donned their robes and upheld laws that denied the Jewish people their most basic rights and enabled the Nazis to perpetrate the worst crime in history. 2 weeks ago, on Holocaust Memorial Day, I pledged this: no amount of pressure and no decision in any international forum will prevent Israel from defending itself against those who seek our destruction. To all the enemies of Israel, including their collaborators in The Hague, I renew that pledge today. Israel will wage our war against Hamas until that war is won, because never again is now.
O ministro das Relações Exteriores de Israel, Israel Katz, também se manifestou por meio de um texto no X. A decisão ultrajante do procurador do Tribunal Penal Internacional em Haia é um ataque frontal desenfreado às vítimas do 7 de outubro e aos nossos 128 reféns em Gaza. Enquanto os assassinos e violadores do Hamas cometem crimes contra a humanidade, contra os nossos irmãos e irmãs, o procurador menciona ao mesmo tempo o primeiro-ministro e o ministro da Defesa de Israel ao lado dos vis monstros semelhantes aos nazis do Hamas. Uma desgraça histórica que será lembrada para sempre. Instruir a criação imediata de um centro de comando especial no Ministério das Relações Exteriores, com todas as entidades profissionais, destinado a lutar contra a decisão que visa principalmente acorrentar as mãos de Israel e impedi-lo de exercer o seu direito à autodefesa. Pretendo falar com os ministros dos negócios estrangeiros dos principais países em todo o mundo para opor-se à decisão do procurador e declarar que, mesmo que sejam emitidos mandados, não sejam aplicados contra os líderes israelenses. Nenhum poder no mundo nos impedirá de trazer de volta todos os nossos reféns e de derrubar o regime terrorista do Hamas. Agora, os juízes do Tribunal Penal Internacional avaliarão se as provas são suficientes para emitir os mandados de prisão contra Netanyahu, seu ministro da Defesa e os líderes do Hamas. Esse processo pode levar semanas ou até meses. Mesmo que os mandados sejam aprovados, não há garantia de que os acusados serão presos ou julgados. O Tribunal Penal Internacional não possui autoridade para executar os mandados de prisão por conta própria. Ele depende da cooperação dos seus 124 países signatários, que não incluem Israel ou os Estados Unidos, para efetuar detenções, transferir prisioneiros, congelar bens e executar sentenças.
Gostou do vídeo? Não se esqueça de curtir e se inscrever no nosso canal. Dessa maneira, você se mantém atualizado sobre os temas mais comentados da internet.